This is Lisa Peterson for Group 5. This is our week for the planning and definition phase for our emergency room department wait time reduction. So for this week, we've made a more detailed scope plan with a work breakdown structure chart here. The things that we're going to be looking for and gathering information on through the rest of this week and next week from our hospitals that we decide to call will be information on what they do for their registration and whether or not it affects their wait time or if they want it to decrease it at all and they set it up online. Just anything that they can give us on their registration, their doctor to patient ratio, any sort of system they have in place that makes it more efficient when they're busy or if they have an emergency come in, whether or not they think that location has anything to do with their wait times. And then the other column here will be for anything else that they can provide us with, any information that we haven't thought of, things that they have found that work for them. So here we'll just be calling the hospitals for the information. That's where we'd like to gather the majority of our information to get a more hands-on feel for what goes on in the ER. And then once we gather our information, we'll put it together and we'll compare it with each other to see what the different facilities that we've been in touch with have in common, what they do different, just determining on the area that they're from. And then the ultimate goal of this project is to determine whether or not it is an effective way to decrease the wait time. So our time frame for this, we'll go over the next few weeks here. We've already completed the initiation phase where we decided what the purpose of it was going to be for. And then this week we just detailed everything so that when we start calling the facilities, we'll know what to ask, what we're looking for. So it'll go a lot more smoothly and hopefully we'll be able to gather the information that we're looking for. You can see right here on the dotted line, this is where we're at on the chart. Next week will be the busy week of execution, so we'll see how that goes. And this is our project network diagram with the critical path. So we have set up kind of a weekly frame for things. So we have the planning definition phase that was this week, which will lead into next week, which has quite a few parts to it in calling the hospitals, gathering the information about their systems, the ratios, any other ideas they can give us on techniques they use. Research will kind of go into the third and fourth week, gathering information and including the cost on what these things, I guess, if they cost rather anything for implementing them. And then the fourth week will involve comparing everything from the different hospitals and then determining if they're effective. So for the cost, it's a little tricky, and that's something we'll be gathering next week. Hopefully we'll be able to get some good ideas on the cost of it. For us, it really doesn't cost anything other than manpower to gather the information. But this is the chart we're wanting to use, identifying, defining, entering, and then calculating the cost totals at the end. Quality plans, we have this quality checklist, and ours is a little different just because it is a research project more so than something we're building. But each member of the team will contribute is one that we have on there. Each member will stay in touch with the others through email, Google, call, text, whatever, to make sure that everybody is getting the information, that nobody's struggling, so that we can help each other out if we need to. We want to make sure that each member is documenting the resources thoroughly. We want to make sure that our information is the best that we can find, that it's from reliable sources, and that it's detailed, so that we'll be able to have the highest quality of work for this project to ensure that it's providing everyone with the correct information. We also want to make sure that our research flows smoothly and that it's able to be understood by anybody that reads it. We don't want it to be confusing or choppy, jump around, not make much sense, because that would defeat the purpose of our project. We also want to make sure that our project ideas are deemed attainable by hospital personnel. This one may be a little bit difficult, but I'm hoping we're able to find something. If pretty much we want to make sure that they agree that the ideas and concepts that we've come up with and researched would decrease the ER wait time, whether they've tried them or not, or whether they just think that it's something that would be worth trying. We have a risk assessment plan up here These are just some of the concerns that we have: not enough information, too much information, loss of contact among members, lack of participation from the hospitals will be a big one. You can see we have it rated here on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being not very significant and 5 being very significant. We have responses to each plan and how we'll monitor it, just to make sure that even if we hit these obstacles, we have a plan B that we can go to, so that we'll still be able to present a quality, thorough research project. The resources, of course, are going to be the team members, the hospitals that we decide to go with. These are a couple so far that we've started looking into and gathering information from. They've been very helpful. Some databases that contain books or articles that we've been looking into is EBSCO. It's a great one. It's got lots of good information. Websites for creating charts that we've used, and then websites that we've used to communicate as team members. So this is what we've done for the project this week, just made it more detailed so that we'll be prepared for the rest of this week and next week when we start gathering all the information from the hospitals, so that we can make sure that we're presenting a thorough bit of information for everybody.